Hello, Capricorn, and welcome to your astrology reading for November 17th, 2018. This is just a rough reading for the energies for the middle of the month. I did choose the 17th because I wanted to have a look at a time when Venus would no longer be retrograde. I'm finding that Venus retrograde is kind of causing well, it's particularly hard on Libras because that's their ruling planet, but it's causing, um, I'll just say negative energy between people who are kind of functioning like one on one, and particularly women. And it's the first time that I've really paid attention to this. So, one on one interactions with women may be causing some stress. Not all, but it may be causing some stress at this time more than usual. So I want to have a look at a time when Venus is now direct. It's now direct on the 17th of November, 2018. So Capricorn, I want to have a look at your first house. I know I did touch on this in your last reading, but I'm going to go over it again for anybody who's new and who's come to check out their chart. So, Capricorn, you have Saturn and Pluto in your first house. Saturn can talk about limitations. It can also talk about structure and laying of foundations. Now, it being in your first house talks about self-image, our appearance, the way that we make first impressions, ego, and new beginnings. So again, you may be laying a foundation at this time for something in particular. I'm not sure. Or you may find yourself kind of feeling limited in some way in those areas. Like I said, self-esteem, making a first impression, appearances, and new beginnings. However, Saturn is direct, so I'm going to assume that these influences will be positive. You have Pluto in that house as well. Pluto talks about rebuilding. Again, it is direct. So you may be starting something new, starting something over, remaking yourself, remaking your appearance. Could be a new hair color, a new sense of style, um, makeup, anything to kind of just remake yourself and remake your appearance and the way that you present yourself to others. So, yeah, this is a good time. It talks about foundations and yeah, I guess new beginnings in the way of rebuilding. Okay, Capricorn, so I want to move on to your second house. In your second house here, we have Mars, and Mars is in the sign of Pisces. Now, Mars being fire and Pisces being water, from my personal experience, I find that I don't really experience too much shift in energy when Mars is in Pisces, probably unless you are a Pisces. But uh, so you may find that your energy has shifted. It really depends on where your Mars is actually located in your chart. The thing I do want to say about this is it is pulling energy towards your money sector. I'd say if you have a job where you have to be on your feet a lot, you may not be as energetic as you normally would be. So yeah, you can kind of expect a slowdown in like energy if you have a job where you have to be physical. Um, but like I said, it is there. It is bringing energy to your money house. So I would expect to see maybe a slight increase in our finances at that time. Of course, that will depend upon your job. If it's selling, if you're getting paid by the hour, it really, really all depends. Okay, Capricorn. Moving on to the third house. The third house for me talks about siblings, short distance travel, media, communications, siblings, a twin flame, soulmate. Let's see here. Yeah, things like YouTube, social media. So you have Neptune retrograde there, and it's in Pisces, and you have Chiron retrograde there, and it's in Pisces as well. Now, these two planets are particularly healing, but seeing that they're both retrograde, it's causing me to think that at this time you might be feeling a little bit stuck. And again, this is in your third house. So what this is telling me is, in some sense, you may not be feeling like yourself. Uh, But this may show up in the way of communications with other people. Maybe this is a time when you just don't feel like communicating with other people. Like, really, maybe you would rather just withdraw, be on your own, really. Those times when we rather just snuggle up on the couch. Um, but it's not so much powerful to the point where you'd be like, "Oh, I really noticed this." It might just be more of a feeling, more like an inclination. Um, so yeah, Neptune talks about receptivity. It talks about our psychic awareness, our psychic abilities, uh, information from the spirit realm. So if you are someone who kind of has these abilities, you may be feeling like your intuition is not so on point as it usually would be. And as far as Chiron and healing, yeah, you may find yourself emotionally maybe going back in some ways, maybe in your feelings, in your thoughts. Like I said, it's not going to be too much of a heavy feeling, but you might be finding yourself kind of like maybe thinking back on things, about your past. And again, this is just part of the purging process. Uh, yes, full and complete, if there is such a thing, healing will come. And the moon is there to assist this area of your life as well. So, yeah, let's keep going, Capricorn. Okay, so here you have Uranus in your fourth house. This has been there for a while. It's affected everybody. It's not fun. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. This is where you may have felt some struggle over the past like 9 months. For you, it would have been something to do with your home or your domestic life or your marriage or your parents or your actual house. Okay. There was a lot of unexpected changes. Like I said, there may have been some type of struggle. It's in Aries, and Uranus will be moving direct in Aries coming January. I believe it's the 5th. So you won't have to experience those energies too much anymore. And we'll be changing over into Taurus. I believe it's in March. Yeah, March. Okay, so I did want to touch on this, Capricorn. You have Juno in the 5th house, which tells me if you are single. Now, the 5th house actually is about love affairs, okay? So not love affairs that are long lasting, though. That's the only thing. But what's interesting is you could actually meet someone who feels like a twin flame or a soulmate at this time. But like I said, because it's in the 5th house and the 5th house rules love affairs, not long-term relationships, chances are it won't last. Hey, we've all been there. We've all met people who feel like twin flames, soulmates, you know, and it just does not turn into a long-term relationship. So that's what I'm seeing there for you, because it's a house of dating and love affairs, and Juno is twin flame soulmates or long-term partners. Okay, and I'm going to keep going. We have the North Node there. Okay, Capricorn. So you have Venus in your 10th house. This is good. Venus talks about money, and it's in your house of career. So in your working life, you may see some shift, some positive shift somehow in terms of maybe getting like either a raise or finding a job that's going to pay you more. Venus is very benevolent when it comes to finances, thank goodness. But yeah, Venus is in your 10th house of career, reputation, how people see you. So that's positive and it's direct. Also, Venus talks about lovers and love, and it's in your 10th house, which is telling you that at this time you could meet someone at work that you end up kind of having maybe a relationship with, maybe even it's just a fling, maybe it's a few nights, friends with benefits, whatever, what have you. Yeah, because it's standing there in your 10th house of career and reputation. So most likely you will meet somebody while working or at your place of work. And moving on, Capricorn, that 11th house there has Jupiter in it, and the 11th house is your hopes, dreams, and wishes. And Jupiter talks about expansion, abundance, opportunities, and good luck. So you're having good luck when it comes to your hopes, dreams, and wishes. That's fantastic. And you have the sun there also putting a spotlight on that area of your life. So this is also the house of groups. So Jupiter in the 11th house means you could find yourself around a lot of different people right now. Let's see here, around a lot of different people right now. For some reason, it could have something to do with your job or just your regular life. So I'm running out of time, Capricorn. I do have to go. That was the energies for November 17th, 2018. I do hope that you enjoyed your reading. Thank you so much for stopping by. Bye for now.